Hey, in today's English lesson, I'm going to teach you 5 English expressions that you must know in order to sound like a native English speaker. Now, before we jump into the lesson, I need to remind you, if your goal is to go from the intermediate level to the advanced English level, you need to go to www.dailyenglishLessons.com. If you want to speak English with confidence, if you want to follow a plan, a proven plan that will help you achieve your English goals, all you have to do is go to www.dailyenglishLessons.com or hit the link in the description. I have created and prepared lessons specifically for you to help you achieve your goal and finally speak English with confidence. So go to www.dailyenglishLessons.com. Now, are you ready? Well then, I'm Teacher Tiffany. Let's jump right in. All right, our first expression is to lose track of. To lose track of. Now, this expression just means to fail to stay fully aware or informed about. So basically, at one time, you were very aware of something. You knew what was going on, but then as time went on, you started focusing on other things and you lost track of something. You no longer know a lot about it. So here's the first example sentence. I lose track of my wallet all the time. In the beginning, I know where my wallet is, but then as time goes on, I forget where it is. I lose track of my wallet all the time. Next, we have this example sentence. I lost track of time, and before I knew it, it was 1 a.m. I knew what time it was, but then I got busy doing something else and I lost track of time. Makes sense, right? All right, here's the other example sentence. I keep my important documents in a safe so I don't lose track of them. I always know where they are. So again, I keep my important documents in a safe so I don't lose track of them. You see how useful this expression is, right? Literally, we use this expression all the time. You'll hear native English speakers, Americans saying this all the time. Shoot, I lost track of time. I need to go. I'm late for my meeting. Shoot, I lost track of time, ... So you can start using this expression today as well to sound more like a native English speaker. Now, the second expression is another good one. To have a taste for. Again, to have a taste for. Now, this just means to acquire a preference for something. Again, to acquire a preference for something. Let me give you an example. I love Indian food, and you know that, right? I've talked about it many times. There's a really good Indian restaurant in Columbia, Maryland. It's called Chutney's. If you live in Maryland, you have to visit it. Chutney's. Now, I remember the very first time I went to Chutney's. Some other friends had recommended the restaurant because they knew that I love Indian food. So I went to the restaurant and I remember the first bite. Woo! The curry was amazing. So the food was so good, I found myself craving it. So I would call my friends sometimes and say, hey, I have a taste for Indian food. Do you want to go to Chutney's? Again, I acquired a taste for their food. I prefer their Indian food. To have a taste for. Makes sense, right? Ooh, I want to eat a certain thing. I've acquired a preference for something. I prefer their Indian food. Here we go. An example sentence. She has a taste for more power. It's not always food. Now that she has become the head manager, she became the manager and all of a sudden, she had this power. She acquired a preference for that feeling of power. So again, she has a taste for more power now that she has become the head manager. Next example sentence. I have a taste for cold drinks on hot days. Woo! Man, when it's hot outside and I'm sweating, I really prefer cold drinks. I have a taste for cold drinks on hot days. And what about this example sentence? I have a taste for traveling first class. Again, I prefer being in the nicer seats, having the better service. I have a taste for traveling first class. Maybe you have a taste for traveling first class. All right, so now we understand to have a taste for, and you can use it today. Now, the third expression is also a really good one. The third expression is to sort out. To sort out, and it just means to resolve a problem. There's a problem and we need to resolve it. We need to fix it. We need to figure out what the issue is. So I remember a friend and I, we had a disagreement and we were not speaking to each other for quite a while. And I realized, hey, there's a problem here. I've been friends with her for a long time and I don't want to lose this friendship. So, hey, we need to sort out this issue. We need to resolve the problem because this friendship is important. So we sorted it out. And we're friends to this day. We had to resolve the issue, resolve the problem. So let me give you some example sentences that will help you. Here's the first one. I need to sort out my finances. You see how we can use this expression in many different situations. My finances are a mess. They're not organized. Hey, I need to sort out my finances. I need to get them organized and to resolve the issues I'm having. Next, Philip needs to sort out his travel plans before it's too late. Listen, Philip, there's a problem with your travel plans. Something's not right. You need to sort out your travel plans. Resolve the issue. It's starting to make sense, right? A very useful expression. And the third example is she left the country without sorting out her responsibilities. Again, she left the country without sorting out her responsibilities. Well, listen, you have responsibilities. There are problems right now because you are the one in charge. You can't just leave. She said, I'm gone. She did not resolve the problems. Again, she left the country without sorting out her responsibilities. Now, the fourth expression is also another good one. Behind somebody's back. Again, behind somebody's back. Now, this is a very commonly used expression. It literally means without a person's knowledge, in a dishonorable way, without a person's knowledge. Now, you may find it tricky to pronounce the first part, behind. Now, if you want help with your pronunciation, again, you can get my app, English with Tiffani. The link is in the description, or you can go to your cell phone and you can find English with Tiffani in the App Store. You'll find pronunciation lessons to help you sound more like a native English speaker. So behind somebody's back, without a person's knowledge, and usually in a dishonorable way, making them look bad. Ooh, I heard that Samantha told the teacher what Sarah did. She did it behind her back. Sarah didn't know. So again, behind somebody's back. Let me give you an example sentence. Dennis went behind Bridget's back and texted his ex-girlfriend. Again, think about it. You can't see behind you, right? So someone is doing something without your knowledge, and usually it's a negative thing. Actually, always it's a negative thing. So Dennis went behind Bridget's back and he texted his ex-girlfriend. Well, he knew Bridget would have been extremely upset, so he did it without her knowledge, behind Bridget's back. Now, what about this example sentence? In the future, please don't go behind my back. If you need something, just come to me. Don't go to someone else behind my back without my knowledge, making me look bad. Again, this expression, I need you to try to understand it, and I want you to use it because this expression, we use it all the time. Now, here's the third example sentence. Claire went behind Amy's back and spoke to HR directly. Now imagine Amy was probably her boss and Claire should have went to her boss first. Or maybe Amy was her coworker that she had an issue with, and instead of speaking to Amy directly, she went to HR, human resources. So again, the sentence says Claire went behind Amy's back and spoke to HR directly. You see what's happening, right? So our fourth expression, behind somebody's back. Now, our fifth expression is another good one. The fifth expression is to look up to somebody. Again, to look up to somebody. Now, this just means to admire and respect someone. Again, to admire and respect someone. For example, yesterday, true story, I went to my niece's basketball practice/clinic. She was learning some basketball drills and I was watching her. Now, many people learning how to play basketball look up to NBA players. She loves to watch Curry. Curry has that nice three-point shot. She loves the way he dribbles. She looks up to Curry. She looks up to him because he plays very well. Now, check out this example sentence. Kai looks up to his older brother, Noah. Kai really admires his older brother. Next, we have the other teachers really look up to her. They really admire her. They look up to her. And finally, I tend to look up to successful people. Again, admire and respect them. You see, this expression is very easy. You can use it right now. Who do you look up to? You know what? Actually, in the comment section, let us know, who do you look up to? Let us know that person's name and maybe why you look up to that individual. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope you start using these expressions so that you can sound like a native English speaker. Don't forget to go to www.dailyenglishLessons.com if you'd like to continue studying with me, and I'll talk to you in the next lesson. You still there? Ha ha! You know what time it is. It's story time. Hey, I said it's story time. All right. Today's story is about someone I look up to. You caught it, that last expression we learned. So, you know that I teach English, and I love teaching you English. You also know that I used to work at NASA. I was a web designer for NASA. I enjoyed that job as well. You know that I lived in Korea teaching English as a missionary. I've done many different things, but one common point that has been with me throughout every aspect of my journey through life, I've used it for every job, is my artistic ability. I can draw, I can paint, I love art. When I worked at NASA, I used my artistic skills to build beautiful websites. When I worked in South Korea, I used my artistic skills to build and create beautiful presentations when I had to speak in front of the students. And even now, I use my artistic ability to make the lessons more visually appealing. So why am I talking about my artistic skill? Because the person I look up to was the first artist. She's not an artist anymore, but she was the first artist that I admired. I'm actually talking about my sister. So I remember I was about 9 years old, and my sister at the time was 14. And my sister at that time would draw all the time. She would draw in her notebook. She would have sketchbooks. She would have notebooks for school, and she was always drawing. So as her younger sister, I admired her. I looked up to her so much, and I remember just wishing I would be able to draw like her one day. So I remember one specific day, she was in her room. Now, as the younger sister, I knew that I wasn't supposed to go in her room, but I wanted to be around my sister. So I slowly opened up her door and I walked into her room. She didn't hear me though. And as I slowly tiptoed into her room, I saw her sketchbook. And I saw that she was drawing in her sketchbook. So I kind of peeked over her shoulder and I saw that she was drawing a picture of her best friend. Now, my sister was 14 at the time. And even though now, literally several decades later, I'm a better artist. She can draw a little bit. She stopped. But even now, I recognize that at that age, what she drew was absolutely amazing. It looked just like her best friend. And I looked up to her even more. I wanted to be able to draw people just as good as my sister. I looked up to her because she was an amazing artist. Now, I look up to her now for many other different reasons. She's a very good mom. She's a good wife to her husband. She really is a nice friend to all of her friends. And there are so many other reasons why I look up to my sister. But I never will forget that moment that I saw my sister drawing her best friend. And I promised myself that I would become an artist just like my sister because I looked up to her so much. Now, maybe you look up to someone. I want you to let us know in the comment section who you look up to. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I'll talk to you in the next lesson.